Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The sound made by the vibration of vocal folds modified by the resonance of the vocal tract. A singer takes good care of his voice. The melody carried by a particular voice or instrument in polyphonic music. An advocate who represents someone else's policy or purpose. Expressing in coherent verbal form. I gave voice to my feelings. Utter with vibrating vocal cords. A means or agency by which something is expressed or communicated. The voice of the law. A sound suggestive of a vocal utterance. The noisy voice of the waterfall. Give voice to. He voiced his concern. Linguistics. The grammatical relation, active or passive, of the grammatical subject of a verb to the action that the verb denotes. Metonymy, a singer. He wanted to hear trained voices sing it. Something suggestive of speech in being a medium of expression. The wee small voice of conscience. The ability to speak. He lost his voice. The distinctive quality or pitch or condition of a person's speech. A shrill voice sounded behind us. The sound made by the vibration of vocal folds modified by the resonance of the vocal tract. The sound made by the vibration of vocal folds modified by the resonance of the vocal tract. The sound made by the vibration of vocal folds modified by the resonance of the vocal tract. The system of vowels used in a particular language. The sound made by the vibration of vocal folds modified by the resonance of the vocal tract. The giraffe cannot make any vocalizations. The use of uttered sounds for auditory communication. The sound made by the vibration of vocal folds modified by the resonance of the vocal tract. The effort contributed by a person in bringing about a result. The actions and activities assigned to or required or expected of a person or group. The government must do its part. To some extent, in some degree, not wholly. I felt partly to blame. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. A portion of a natural object. They analyzed the river into 3 parts. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The rear part of the house. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The written part of the exam. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The business partners broke over a tax question. The melody carried by a particular voice or instrument in polyphonic music. He tried to sing the tenor part. Force, take, or pull apart. Moses parted the Red Sea. An item that is an instance of some type. My dog swallowed a Lego part. A line of scalp that can be seen when sections of hair are combed in opposite directions. His part was right in the middle. Leave. The extended spatial location of something. Religions in all parts of the world. Go one's own way. Move apart. The friends separated after the party. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. He wanted to feel a part of something bigger than himself. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. She played the part of Desdemona. Come apart. That which concerns a person with regard to a particular role or situation. It requires vigilance on our part. Someone who mediates between speakers of different languages. Computer science. A program that translates and executes source language statements one line at a time. An advocate who represents someone else's policy or purpose. Someone who uses art to represent something. His paintings reveal a sensitive interpreter of nature. An item of information that is typical of a class or group. An advocate who represents someone else's policy or purpose. A member of the United States House of Representatives. A person who represents others. Being or characteristic of government by representation in which citizens exercise power through elected officers and representatives. Representative government is defined by Abraham Lincoln as government of the people, by the people, for the people. Serving to represent or typify. Representative moviegoers. Standing for something else. The bald eagle is representative of the United States. An advocate who represents someone else's policy or purpose. The meeting was attended by spokespersons for all the major organs of government. Anatomy. The point of connection between two bones or elements of a skeleton, especially if it allows motion. The shape or manner in which things come together and a connection is made. Expressing in coherent verbal form. The articulation of my feelings. The act of joining things in such a way that motion is possible. The aspect of pronunciation that involves bringing articulatory organs together so as to shape the sounds of speech. Phonetics. An individual sound unit of speech without concern as to whether or not it is a phoneme of some language. Logically valid. A sound argument. Measure the depth of a body of water with a sounding line. The subjective sensation of hearing something. He strained to hear the faint sounds. Make a certain noise or sound. Having legal efficacy or force. A sound title to the property. In excellent physical condition. A sound mind in a sound body. The audible part of a transmitted signal. Of sleep, deep and complete. A sound sleeper. A narrow channel of the sea joining two larger bodies of water. Exercising or showing good judgment. A sound approach to the problem. Utter with vibrating vocal cords. A large ocean inlet or deep bay. The main body of the sound ran parallel to the coast. Announce by means of a sound. Sound the alarm. Appear in a certain way. This sounds interesting. Cause to sound. Sound the bell. Complete. Thorough. Politicians have no sound grasp of technology issues. Financially secure and safe. Sound investments. Free from moral defect. A man of sound character. Give off a certain sound or sounds. This record sounds scratchy. In good condition, free from defect or damage or decay. A sound timbre. Mechanical vibrations transmitted by an elastic medium. Falling trees make a sound in the forest even when no one is there to hear them. The particular auditory effect produced by a given cause. The sound of rain on the roof. The sudden occurrence of an audible event. The sound awakened them. Vigorous or severe. A sound thrashing. Sing, each note a scale or in a melody, with the same vowel. Express or state clearly. Pronounce as a vowel. Utter speech sounds. Utter with vibrating vocal cords. Sing, each note a scale or in a melody, with the same vowel. Express or state clearly. Pronounce as a vowel. Utter speech sounds. Utter with vibrating vocal cords. The activity of communicating. The activity of conveying information. They could not act without official communication from Moscow. A connection allowing access between persons or places. How many lines of communication can there be among four people? Something that is communicated by or to or between people or groups. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. Exposed to fresh air. The mass of air surrounding the Earth. It was exposed to the air. Travel via aircraft. Air travel involves too much waiting in airports. Exposed to cool or cold air so as to cool or freshen. Air the old winter clothes. A slight wind, usually refreshing. As he waited, he could feel the air on his neck. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. She was humming an air from Beethoven. A distinctive but intangible quality surrounding a person or thing. An air of mystery. Broadcast over the airwaves, as in radio or television. We cannot air this X-rated song. Make public. She aired her opinions on welfare. Medium for radio and television broadcasting. The program was on the air from 9 till midnight. A mixture of gases, especially oxygen, required for breathing, the stuff that the wind consists of. Air pollution. Be broadcast. This show will air Saturdays at 2 p.m. Exposed to warm or heated air, so as to dry. Once thought to be one of four elements composing the universe, Empedocles. The region above the ground. Her hand stopped in mid-air. A course of reasoning aimed at demonstrating a truth or falsehood. The methodical process of logical reasoning. I can't follow your line of reasoning. A slight depression or fold in the smoothness of a surface. His face has many lines. Mechanical system in a factory whereby an article is conveyed through sites at which successive operations are performed on it. A connected series of events or actions or developments. Historians can only point out those lines for which evidence is available. The road consisting of railroad track and roadbed. A conceptual separation or distinction. There is a narrow line between sanity and insanity. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A conductor for transmitting electrical or optical signals or electric power. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Often plural, a means of communication or access. Lines of communication were set up between the two firms. The descendants of one individual. His entire lineage has been warriors. Space for one line of print, 1 column wide and 1/14 inch deep, used to measure advertising. A short personal letter. Drop me a line when you get there. A telephone connection. Be in line with, form a line along. Trees line the riverbank. The maximum credit that a customer is allowed. A particular kind of product or merchandise. A nice line of shoes. A pipe used to transport liquids or gases. A pipeline runs from the wells to the seaport. A commercial organization serving as a common carrier. Acting in conformity. In line with. A formation of people or things one behind another. The line stretched clear around the corner. A formation of people or things one beside another. The line of soldiers advanced with their bayonets fixed. A fortified position, especially one marking the most forward position of troops. They attacked the enemy's line. A length, straight or curved, without breadth or thickness, the trace of a moving point. A mark that is long relative to its width. He drew a line on the chart. A single frequency, or very narrow band, of radiation in a spectrum. A spatial location defined by a real or imaginary unidimensional extent. Cover the interior of. Line the gloves. Fill plentifully. Line one's pockets. In games or sports, a mark indicating positions or bounds of the playing area. Mark with lines. Sorrow had lined his face. Persuasive but insincere talk that is usually intended to deceive or impress. Let me show you my etchings as a rather worn line. Reinforce with fabric. Lined books are more enduring. Something, as a cord or rope, that is long and thin and flexible. A washing line. Text consisting of a row of words written across a page or computer screen. The letter consisted of 3 short lines. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. The perception of pleasant arrangements of musical notes. An intense or violent exertion. Difficulty that causes worry or emotional tension. She endured the stresses and strains of life. Cause to be tense and uneasy or nervous or anxious. Test the limits of. Become stretched or tense or taut. The rope strained when the weight was attached. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. The act of singing. Remove by passing through a filter. Separate by passing through a sieve or other straining device to separate out coarser elements. Use to the utmost. Exert vigorously or to full capacity. Don't strain your mind too much. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A new strain of microorganisms. A special variety of domesticated animals within a species. He created a new strain of sheep. The general meaning or substance of an utterance. To exert much effort or energy. Straining our ears to hear. An effortful attempt to attain a goal. Rub through a strainer or process in an electric blender. Alter the shape of something by stress. Psychology, nervousness resulting from mental stress. His responsibilities were a constant strain. Injury to a muscle, often caused by overuse, results in swelling and pain. Physics, deformation of a physical body under the action of applied forces. Adjust the pitches of musical instruments. My piano needs to be tuned. Adjust for better functioning. Tune the engine. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. The adjustment of a radio receiver or other circuit to a required frequency. The property of producing accurately a note of a given pitch. He cannot sing in tune. A person who pleads for a cause or propounds an idea. A person who pleads for a cause or propounds an idea. A lawyer who pleads cases in court. Push for something. Speak, plead, or argue in favor of. The doctor advocated a smoking ban in the entire house. A person who pleads for a cause or propounds an idea. A person who pleads for a cause or propounds an idea. A mathematical notation indicating the number of times a quantity is multiplied by itself. Someone who expounds and interprets or explains. A word or phrase that particular people use in particular situations. Pardon the expression. The communication, in speech or writing, of your beliefs or opinions. Expressions of goodwill. A group of symbols that make a mathematical statement. The feelings expressed on a person's face. A sad expression. The style of expressing yourself. His manner of expression showed how much he cared. Expression without words. Tears are an expression of grief. A group of words that form a constituent of a sentence and are considered as a single unit. Genetics, the process of expressing a gene. The act of forcing something out by squeezing or pressing. The expression of milk from her breast. The communication, in speech or writing, of your beliefs or opinions. The idea was immediate but the verbalism took hours. Overabundance of words. The communication, in speech or writing, of your beliefs or opinions. He helped me find verbal expression for my ideas. Speak, pronounce, or utter in a certain way. Provide with a joint. Speak, pronounce, or utter in a certain way. Express or state clearly. Consisting of segments held together by joints. Put into words or an expression. Expressing yourself easily or characterized by clear expressive language. Articulate speech. Unite by forming a joint or joints. The ankle bone articulates with the leg bones to form the ankle bones.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.